Hello everyone, welcome back to chess. We're playing 1510 as a black against Ronin 606. It's been a couple days since I played. Obviously the videos are still going up, but it's been a little while for me is all. I guess, I don't know. I recorded this video something like 2 weeks ago probably by the time you're watching it. So I could talk about what I've been up to, but uh, it's so long ago, right? I was playing Mage Knight, you got me. There you go. I released some videos on that a couple weeks ago, I think. Such a long game. I like the challenge and the kind of the optimization planning that the game is kind of all about, but it definitely takes time. Okay, we need to put this pawn here at some point, and I think it's now. And then you're supposed to do this, I think. Maybe I have this backwards. Maybe I'm thinking of what. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put the bishop here. Ugh. I was thinking about some stuff relating to a d4 opening, and I think as white too. Like I was trying to play as white, having opened d4, uh, which A I'm bad at, and B is not what is happening right now. So kind of a mess here. I should just put the bishop out. I was thinking, like, aren't they supposed to, like, do this and you want to be defending this pawn? But there's no pawn here. This whole plan makes no sense. All right, I'm going to have to figure out how to do anything good with this bishop, I guess. I know. We'll fianchetto him. It's not, oh no, this bishop sucks. Right. So I have this, but, I mean, I think they're perfectly happy to make this block, and it's my good bishop, so I don't want to do that. All my knights are kind of lame. I guess they go here. Ugh. Yeah, this opening has not been played well for me. Yeah, here we go. I think we take this way if capture. Actually, this way would save my bishop a lot of trouble, wouldn't it? It'd still be a little awkward to defend him, but at least he could do something. Yeah? Oh, that's the wrong pawn to move. What am I doing? Oh, man. I need a nap. And I think they should back up here. And now my knight looks kind of dumb because it's pinned to the queen. Back up specifically to here, rather, maintain the pin. It's a tough one to get out of. Or, anyway, not convenient. I don't like this opening at all. I'll see what I can do. I have like this maybe someday if they get too active with this rook somehow, but that doesn't seem likely, right? There's no pieces over here this is going to threaten, so it's not really much of a resource. I mean, in fairness, like the only thing that has really gone wrong is that I didn't put my bishop here like I was supposed to. Everything else is sort of okay. As far as like what you do in the Caro-Kann. Oh, also, so much for fianchettoing this bishop. So one reason I was thinking of playing this is I was like, oh, what if once they run back, I can play my bishop here and they won't be attacking it anymore. But you can't push both of you can't like kick away the bishop and also put a bishop here. So that like actually I don't know. I was thinking, oh, I'll move here and attack the bishop once he backs up. No, they're going to take your queen. But if I can get out of the pin and then do this, that could be something. Actually, that's kind of nice. I can use this tempo not for an attack on any pieces over here, but to get the bishop gone if they back up. Yeah, so they're not doing that. Okay. So I think this means that I can put my knight here somewhat conveniently. And their bishop, I feel like, should have run away one square further, because I don't believe they want to trade it for my knight. Especially not if the guardian is the f-pawn. And a bishop here might be doing something fairly useful. Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I guess. I have this with tempo if I want, but it's not really tempo. They can just push a pawn, I think, and be fine. I can develop a bishop. But this is a great bishop. I want him to live here, right? I don't want to just play this and then knight blocks, pawn push, kicking it away. I guess, I don't know, they can't actually trade for this bishop so quickly, but this just gives them permission to play the knight here, which they kind of want to do anyway. And even if I bring the queen into support, it's still not winning any material. This square is very well defended. I could try this. I think now might be a good time for that. Breaking apart this pawn structure. Either they capture, in which case I get a good square from my dark square bishop, or they don't, and I get to take apart the base of their pawn chain that's supporting e5. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, they like have to capture, because if they don't, well, they can do something else. But at the moment, this is attacked twice, defended only once. Okay. So they're not going to lose a pawn now when I take, but their pawn structure gets a lot worse. I mean, I don't know. They can support this pawn and they can support this pawn eventually, but those are both like kind of in the future. What if I took here first? Is that crazy? It seems probably bad. They're retaking with the bishop, obviously. Not that that's the reason it's bad, just like that's what's going to happen. But my thinking is if here, they're sort of in... No, they're going into a pin anyway, right? Do I take with knight? Oh, no. I want to do this so that the recapturing piece gets pinned to the queen. I don't know. It's not even really much of a pin because it's trading queen for queen. But they don't want to do that. It would mean losing castling rights. So here. Yeah, that creates another attacker for this pawn with my queen. I think we're winning something here. Right? Because now my queen is unveiled. And I get this pawn to live. Or maybe it would have been better to put a knight there? I don't know. I think it'd just be inviting them to trade these two knights, which I don't really want to do. Now, my development is very poor. And that pawn had really better be worth his weight in gold if this is going to work out. But I mean, like, I can get a bishop to here, maybe? Create several defenders. A knight here? Right? I feel like this d pawn should be the focus of my efforts for some time. And they can't so easily even add another attacker, actually. So maybe I don't have to work on it, right? How are they going to do that? They've got these guys already. This bishop can't, because the pawn would just take him. Okay, yes, you get this, which I wouldn't love, but I win a bishop for a pawn. Actually, I even get the pawn back with knight recaptures in the end, right? No, I don't. Because I have to play this and then they have tempo. So a candidate next move would be knight here. I think that's probably good. It's a little inconvenient that maybe there's a pin like this. So we could try a bishop here first instead. And that way castling would be a little bit more nearby. I would obviously really love to get rid of the e-pawn as well, because then I could have a connected passer instead of just this kind of isolated passer. But this guy is very well protected. I don't see myself getting to him anytime soon, unless they start diverting pieces. I think getting castled should be a pretty high priority for me. So we're going to go ahead and play bishop to c5 first. I don't really see how this is going to backfire. Also, it x-rays the king, which is useful. They have this like check, but it doesn't do anything yet. I really want to get out of the line of fire of that before they can unveil some tactic with it. Like I don't want to commit any pieces to the fourth rank, for example, because this is still a threat. Actually, that's a thought. It means this actually works. The pawn doesn't look supported. You might think I can just take it, but I can't because there's this follow-up winning the bishop. Okay, so maybe they're going here? I don't know. Anyway, let's get castled so that we're safe from all this nonsense. Opponent is still much better developed than I am. And I imagine they're... Oh, I thought they were going to play to here, attacking both the pawn and the bishop, but no, okay. They're just heading into a nice square, I guess. Can I go here? Keeping an eye on this? I don't think so. Protect the bishop that way? Then if they take the bishop, I get to connect my pawns up. And if they go here, I get to take the knight and weaken this pawn dramatically. Okay. Well, I'm staying undeveloped. Take that. It also creates, finally, a nice place for my light square bishop to go. Yeah, my light square bishop his prospects are improving. He was pretty awful at the beginning of the game. But now that there's like this red carpet right into the king side, yeah. Okay, preparing this, I guess. Is this too greedy? Right, they want to get rid of my bishop. I want to make them at least pay for it. Does this even work, though? Push, push, takes. It does work. They can't recapture because their rook is the one. Their pawn is the one who's pinned if I capture first. Okay. It's getting exciting in here, that's for sure. I don't want that bishop dislodged. He's in a really nice place, keeping this important pawn tied in nice and snug. If they are like if knight here, I think I probably have to do this because this knight is just insufferable. Um, but I don't want to be dislodged without at least getting something out of it. Here, what I would get out of it is I weaken this pawn. Actually, ooh, then I lose this pawn, don't I? Here, takes. I now only have one defender on this square, and the queen and the knight are both attacking. And I can't, like, take with queen to maintain my attackers, or defenders, because the bishop is here. So this would be pretty troublesome for me, actually. I'd like to get this knight move in to get an extra defender here, I think. And then I could handle that a little bit better. I'd also like... Get out of here. I'd like this bishop move to attack the knight. And x-ray this one. Obviously, that sort of conflicts with having a knight here. I guess I could try this bishop move. They kind of have to trade, and then I get a piece here. Either a rook or a knight, I'm not sure which. Probably a rook. The knight is pretty awful there. I don't know. Here, here, here? It's not a bad square. Okay, they're committing to getting rid of my bishop. I think this is great for me, actually. Because now I have pawns supporting each other. And I don't risk this, like, idea of them putting a knight here. Is there something I should do besides recapture? I'm pretty sure there's not. Now I have this connected passer on my own 5th rank, the 4th rank of the board, which is close enough that promotion is a little bit worrying for my opponent, but not a 6th rank pawn, where it starts to get really serious. And their light square bishop is quite good at the moment. He's, making it just a little bit awkward for me to get developed. I'd be happy to do this if I get a chance. Opponent's quite short on time. This is the first time I can recall not just being ahead on time, but, like, way ahead. I'm usually a slow player. Out of curiosity, my opponent only plays rapid. Fair enough. Member since a couple months ago. I see. Okay. I mean, sure. I thought I might find that they, like, usually play classical or something. I don't mean to say they're managing their time badly at all. I approve of thinking. Um, just that it seems like, if you play like rapid and faster than rapid, you tend to play fast when you're playing rapid, and likewise if you play slower. Um, so I thought maybe my opponent is used to classical. Turns out no, that's fine. Okay, you're attacking this pawn. I don't think I care. What else are you attacking? Nothing. So here's my plan. Go here. The knight, sorry, the bishop has to trade, or else get defended somehow, in which case I trade with it. Because if it tries to run away, I win the exchange. Now, you could win... Oh. Yeah, that's true. This doesn't... No. The queen's defending my pawn. I was thinking that I'm pinning the bishop to the rook by capturing here, or that they would be doing that. But that's not true. The bishop is watching the pawn, so they can't immediately take it. So when we go here, this is a non-move. It does not exist. So they have to do something with the bishop. And then, if they try the trade, I think we can put the rook here. Knight here. Well, I don't know. I want the rook here, right? So I guess knight here is fine because the queen is watching over the pawn. And this is a much better square for the knight. And then very shortly after that, I'd like to put the knight on c7. Getting him from c7 to d5 to either of these third rank squares. Like, he can't go to them now because there are pawns. But if he's just sitting here looking over these, first of all, it's harder to assault the pawn. And second, if they flinch with any pawns, you just instantly pounce with a knight. Also, it's attacking this bishop. Okay, just in case they make a bad move, we'll remove this. Yeah. So far, so good, I think. The bad opening, I found a tactic in the opening to let me make up for my deficit of preparation. Okay, they thought long enough that I think it's pretty clear they're not going to take there. So this is the plan. Also this at some point. What are they going to do? Something like this? I would happily take, I think. So I don't really know. They don't seem to have any clear attacking plans. This pawn is what they really need to target. But I don't know how you do it. Queen here, I guess. I'd probably step up with the queen, because it's hard for them to get a second piece there. Well, okay, a rook. Maybe that's the idea. So there's some downside to moving a knight. Right now, he's watching over a pretty important pawn. But I think my major pieces can do that. What is this? Just like a weaker version of this play? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and move my knight here, right? I have time. I should think. They did something weird. I shouldn't, like, instantly react. But I thought, like, they might try this. And that doesn't seem to work. This is preparing here? To make this into an outpost for my opponent, maybe? But I think that doesn't really work. Oh my god, I just had a panic attack. I was like, wait, I'm not guarding the pawn anymore with the queen, but I am guarding with the rook, so it's fine. My knight is now in some danger. There's nowhere safe for him to go if this second pawn move comes in. Oh yeah, there is. He can go back here. That would be fine. I was thinking I might have to do something dramatic like this, and maybe that's an okay play anyway. Actually, I think this move is the point of this, is that they didn't want me to do this like, say, on the last move, if I had done that, the bishop would be sad. He would have to back up here to avoid being taken by a pawn. And then I could take him with a knight, exposing their king and trading bishop for knight. But I think I'm actually not concerned about that. My knight is much better than this bishop. So the question is, can I survive this? The answer is yes. This pawn is like an unassailable defender of this one. So I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to keep developing my knight. I guess, oh, they're also preparing the bishop to run away from this knight move. Sure. Oh, also, this pawn move did weaken the square, as I was saying that it would be nice for them to do. So I have c3 now for my knight if I want it. And that stops rooks from attacking c5, as well as making the back rank very much less hospitable for enemy pieces. I guess that's important too. I mean, all of this is great. Oh, this bishop isn't hanging. It's defended by the queen. So I could put a rook here and defend in the traditional manner. But then after this, I'm not so happy, I don't think. They're trying to add attackers here slowly, I guess. And so I was thinking, why not just plop a knight in here? What are they going to do about it? Push here to undermine. Takes. The problem is that then they're still threatening this and I don't have it defended. Right, if I plop a knight in, then push, takes. This guy's weak. And attack twice by a pawn and a rook. No, not a rook, just a pawn. I suppose I could at that point play queen here? No. The pawn would take it. But like queen here, maybe. Defending the pawn. But it's not really defending because they just take it and I can't take with the queen. I lose it to a rook. So this move is really bothering me. I think actually I should leave the knight where he is so he can deal with that. Right now, if I don't put a knight here, push, takes. The pawn is dropping, but all I have to do to prevent that is get a piece to defend the pawn. Either my queen or a rook. I think I want the queen so that I can activate this rook. God, that... No, right, that does work. It's because I'm not retaking this way. I'm retaking this way. Although... that doesn't work either, does it? I think they can get away with this now. Because, yeah, this queen is not a defender of this pawn. Or this queen can defend the pawn, but it stops the pawn from taking, which means that when the knight goes here to take their second pawn, it won't actually be defended by my pawn. Yeah, oh, there's also this. I think I'm losing a lot of material here. Not quite. Oh, yeah. I can't take this pawn because the queen will be there. Ugh, I'm so mad. I missed this. I just walked right into a pin of my pawn and then noticed right afterwards. A rook would have been much better at this job. So, hmm. Well, takes. Queen here. Now it's okay to drop the queen, so I'm winning another queen, right? So I think we have to do this. Or I don't know, maybe I could have just done this first. Yeah, I think I could have hung on to this knight, actually. Luring the queen over here before here was not important. Okay, well, that was exciting. What does this accomplish? Anything? Not really. I think I'd rather get behind my pawn and threaten to come here. Oh, somehow I lost a pawn in all that mess. Huh. So I'm not really, like, ahead material anymore. And my rooks are worse. But I have this pawn. This is a really good pawn. And if I put a rook here, it defends both of these pawns, and I can free this guy up to do something else. This is a pretty good rook. I said theirs are better, but actually this is sort of okay. I think, yeah, we go here. Everything seems to be okay. Pawn push, maybe? To stop my rook from getting here? Actually, my rook can't go there anyway, because they can react with pawn push. It's fine. Then I would take, get here or something. Or we have this. They don't have to react, though. The rook is defending. Here. Here. I can't get there because takes, and now the only place I could shelter would be here. Which is, I guess it's fine. I could trade rooks and be on this guy again. There's this check, but I don't really care. I can just come up this way. Although, then I might have trouble hanging onto this pawn now that I look at it. Okay, that's not going to happen, it turns out. I need to get my king over to the queen side. To help deal with these two pawns. My rook has too many responsibilities right now. Maybe I needed to do this first. I can't really... Can I get behind this, in front of this pawn? I think so. Yeah. But then... Then they can swing a rook around in front of the pawn. No, I guess that's okay. I think I can just keep running with my king. I guess, ugh, I don't know. Now the rooks and the pawns are all kind of tied up over here. The rooks and the kings, and it's like these pawns against these four pawns against each other, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to handle this. Probably I can get away with this soon to try to provide support for this pawn that's not a rook. So maybe they should try that to stop me, but that just pitches a pawn, which probably is not right. Also, it's the defender of this pawn. Yeah, probably not right. Yeah, my next move I think is going to be f6. They'll probably try something like this, I guess, first. Or maybe rook here? Hmm, I don't know about that. It wins this pawn, but only if you're willing to give me this one. And so then the question is, like, their king is more active, but I have probably better pawns? I don't think that's working for me. Their king just gets too active. Okay, so maybe I need to keep both these pawns together. Here, takes, takes, takes. King takes immediately. Allowing this. But now these pawns are good enough to hold off the king until I can get there, I think? Actually, wait a minute, I don't have to take. My rook is defended. So I can just grab this guy if I want. Oh no, because I can't let this pawn advance, right? So I could take here. Then if takes, I have this, which is fine-ish. No, it's not. I'm just down pawns that way. Yeah, I think I'm behind here. But these pawns might be good enough to hang on for a while. Oh, maybe the king... No, he can't come in. Okay, so we don't want to do this. Am I right about that? It just invites the king in, yeah. So I got to march over here. And I think I just got to get behind my pawns. I'd rather be, I don't know, in front of them, maybe? I think I just keep moving the king. No captures. Not till I'm ready. Because this, I'm fine with. And this I'm also fine with. I just want to get my king over and do what exactly? Capture here allows this. Or this. Capture here invites this guy over, which I don't want. Yeah. And I think I still don't want to take. This kind of forces king takes here. Do I care about that? I don't think so. I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, the position's pretty locked up. I think now might be the time to try for this. Or I could just, like, offer a draw, basically. Takes. King takes, I don't know, might be okay. Takes, pawn takes is probably bad. Let's go for this, I don't know. Okay. Fine. I can't do this, can I? No, they just take here and I'm dead. So I have to shuffle with the king. Do I go here or here? I think I want to keep their king out. But here? I don't want to take. Oh, yeah, I do. Can't go there. This push. So I guess the king's trying to. I'm not sure. I think I can just shuffle here and draw. I don't see any way to do anything more productive. Okay, they're trying something. But I don't see what it is. I need to make sure I don't let them get away with this. Yeah, draw. All right, well, we won some rating points for drawing a higher rated player. Not bad. I felt like I had a win at some point. I guess I should do my own analysis without the computer. So, obviously this move is bad. I'm supposed to put the bishop here first. This knight move doesn't feel great. But then I feel like they made a mistake with their bishop here. And this, I think they needed to do something more serious in response to my pawn push. A number of things would have worked. I think either capture is okay, maybe. Yeah. Suppose, for example, takes. I don't want capture here, so this is really my only response. And then what? Now my bishop is a bit exposed to stuff like this or something, and they have like some pressure on my strong pawn. Um, but I think things are relatively stable, or not stable. Like nobody's clearly ahead there. This I think would also be fine. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to retake actually. I guess like this, because now. No, I was thinking they can't take this way because I'll have the queen trade, but no, I'll have a pawn here. So I could take like this, but that undermines the knight. No, it improves my light square bishop. Actually, I think it would be okay. I would take like this, and now if they want, they can defend the pawn because I can't unveil another attacker for it. Or they could take here. I'm not sure what they would prefer. Probably not this because I still get a passer out of it. So I think they want to stay strong with that pawn. Although actually, I get a passer anyway, right? I can trade this knight or not as I choose, but this pawn is a passer. So I think actually it would be better to take this way. No, now this guy's a passer already? No. He's not, because this guy's watching him, and you have to support this pawn. And I can get a passer just by pushing him, I guess. So maybe... I don't know, it seems like I'm actually in okay shape in all of these lines, but the line that gives me a passer and also wins a pawn doesn't seem right. Anchoring in the bishop was nice. I love this move. So I wondered what would happen. I feel like this is bad for me, right? I think I'm losing my passed pawn if this happens. This pawn is attacked too many times. I can do this, and we're even on material, right? Well, not yet. No, they have to retake. But now this pawn is attacked twice, defended once, and I can't. I can add another defender. He's a little bit hard to support, and I've got this pawn like deep in my throat here. Fairly well supported, so it's not clear how I'm going to attack him. But this pawn seems to be stable for the moment. The problem is they can do this? No. Yeah. And I can actually plan to play this at some point because my knight is guarding this square. It overloads the knight. No, it doesn't, because this guy's guarding here. Actually, no. This square would only be defended once and attacked twice. They would try something like this. Win a pawn, and then trade minor pieces. So this doesn't seem great for me. But I'm not immediately clear on if it is actually bad. Why is everything so like slow? This looks okay. The animations were just moving slowly for a minute. They're back now. That bishop move was okay. This knight move, okay. Now, rook here. This, I think, was a big turning point. I think I needed to play my rook here. Rook to c8 to defend. The queen move pinned my pawn, and I ended up losing it as a result. So I think we'll find that this is more manageable. I was worried about b4. So suppose b4 takes. Now I could just capture, I suppose, but I really want to maintain this pawn. So my idea was knight takes. And I think this works. So I think this would be a big improvement for me. Rook c8 instead of queen c7. So they don't actually go in for this trade because they just lose a pawn. So my knight is kind of tied down here, protecting against the idea of this push. And it takes me a while to like untangle so that I can stop that threat somehow. You know, maybe queen here, for example, forces them either to commit or to lay off the pressure here, something like that. So what do they do instead? I mean, they could try building up more pressure, I suppose. But if they do that, they're no longer threatening this square, so my knight capture is not going to worry about the pawn move. So I think I could afford this if in that case. Right? So that's an idea that I have for that stage of the game. It's slow again. What? So after all this, first of all, I think I didn't have to take here. I could have just taken here first. Pulling the queen in. Takes. And I've still lost the pawn. Ah! But my knight is still here ready to take when the queen can't recapture. So this just wins material, right? I'm taking this pawn, or knight, and you can't hang on to both of them anymore. If you retake, you lose the bishop. Yeah, so I was looking at like how to resolve this problem during the game, and I realized like, I can like draw the queen away, or draw her to this square, eventually, and then like when pawn takes here, it's not pinned because it's winning a queen as well as losing a queen. And I did that after thinking about this capture. But I should have backed up a minute and said, wait a minute, I don't actually need this capture. I can do this. I did that as soon as I took the bishop. I was like, oh, I guess I didn't have to do that. But I didn't realize it would have been so much better. Here, now takes, and I lose a pawn, but I win a minor piece. So that'd be a big improvement. Here, I don't know. I tried rook c5, but I think that might have been the wrong idea. I think maybe I needed to like play it all the way to c6. I'm sorry, c3. Which sort of forces this, right? No, it doesn't. It's defended. But like this kind of nicely keeps the king a little bit more cut off. And isn't so prone to pawn trades, I think. And I have a better pawn than they do. right? I just need to, like, I don't know, hang on to things long enough. I really needed to get in this move. It's so good. Because either they take, and I can recapture and push this guy. Creating a support for this passer. Or they don't take, in which case I just get this right away. Now the problem is there's this rook, meaning that when this takes, I run into trouble, I think. So I don't think I can actually do it right now. Push, takes, rook here, right? So I think maybe I can play my rook like here to prepare this f6 move. But I don't know, they have like f4 and then takes, and I still don't really get anywhere, and I have another pawn I have to babysit. Or no, I don't. Sorry. This pawn still needs babysitting, rather. But then maybe I can get my king. No, there's a rook here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this position. Bring my king over? I was thinking at the time of maybe tucking him in here so that he is not vulnerable to rook checks. But I don't really think that's productive. I don't know. Maybe my rooks can hang on over here by themselves, but I don't think they can. If both enemy rooks get involved, they can create some chaos with this stuff. So, like, I don't know. You might try something like this, right? And have the idea of, like, here. But I think the opponent will be pretty keen to play this now. Because takes, and they have this defended passer who can, an outside passer. Actually, yeah, that would be the right way to do it. And it's hard for me to stop, especially because they can get a rook behind it. And this king is just miles away from the action. And what are my rooks supposed to do? It just all really sucks. So I think I have to do something about these pawns. They're threatening to make a real menace of themselves. And I did that in the game. Right, I got this trade in. And I really have to make this trade as well. I don't know. Could I have just gone here? I thought about bringing the king over, but maybe I can just win this pawn and then... Like, yeah, you can push. But maybe I'm there in time? If you try running, I have this. But then here, and I'm not... Or actually, here is even better. I'm nowhere near in time, right? You just check and promote. So that'd be game over. So indeed, I cannot take this pawn. That would be game losing, I think. Well, I guess there's a thought that, like, what about this? What if we just decide to both queen? The problem is this king is here, right? He's just doing a good enough job that I can't actually promote, right? Here, and then I lose. So I don't think I can just race. I suppose I could just try this. Leave my rook here blockading. What did I actually do? I brought the king in. But what about this pawn push? I think they can just get the king in the way, actually. and pick it up pretty quickly. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Now this comes with check. But now my rook is kind of overloaded and the pawn can run. Yeah, this doesn't work either. So I don't know. I think I might have been right to, in the game, trade rooks and then bring my king in. My rook has to blockade because, like, I just can't do anything else. I could have tried to create a pawn break instead of bringing the king, I guess. I wanted to try to get to this pawn, and I thought my king could do it eventually, which is true, but eventually is a long time. Their king gets there first, so maybe I could try this. Takes, takes. Yeah. Yeah. I guess there's still this. And I'm still not in time. I could, at this stage, capture the pawn. Not like that. And then the king can't get involved. But he doesn't have to. This rook is just too good. Behind a passed pawn. Well, wait a minute. What if I just say, forget this stupid pawn? You want to push? Fine, I'll push. But they're promoting first. Because I had to spend a tempo moving my rook. Wait, what if I tried this? That doesn't work, right? Yeah. So I think I needed to get the king involved, and it just, like... didn't lead to a win, but I held the draw? And then, like, can I do something here? They're threatening this. I mean, maybe there's some better thing I'm supposed to do, like this? I don't think so. It just stops this pawn from ever moving. Yeah, that seems awful. I think what I did in the game is the best try. I don't know. I feel like I managed the rook and pawn endgame pretty well. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't see any obvious improvements once we got down to just rook and pawn. Let's see what the computer thinks, finally. Uh-oh. It was mate in one, or it was, like, overwhelmingly winning when I took the draw. What was I supposed to do? Oh, I can step up! I missed this. The king has to run back. Ugh. I thought I couldn't do that. For some reason. Oh, what a bummer. It says pawn takes. Right, because there's now two things the king has to do. And eventually we can shove him back, right? Yeah, I don't need the computer to tell me how to play this. He might want to get over here to attack this pawn, but he can't. So say he steps back. We come up here. He has to step back again. And you can't promote this pawn by itself. Actually, I maybe do need the computer to tell me how to win this. Because, like, how exactly do I find time to pick up? Maybe I shouldn't be pushing this guy so far. Maybe I should keep him back, like, just this far. And squeeze in here. Now, the king wants to step forward. Actually, hang on. No, the king can step forward, and, like, I have to... Ah, I see. It's not about getting him to fall back far enough that I can win this pawn. It's just like, I can promote this. Their king gets in front of my pawn, but... This is a really important square for the enemy king, I think, in this position. Because what you have to do is get a position in front of the pawn and stop your opponent from doing the same. Right, if your king can get in front of the pawn, you can promote. Okay, well, maybe I've been playing this wrong to begin with here. Don't push the pawn. Make the king do nothing. Yeah, I guess, You don't want to let him get here. I mean, I don't know, it's fine. He'll have to move back. But it's not really productive. You have to do this to actually make him step backward. And he still, like, is stopping you from getting in front of the pawn. But... here, you can take opposition. And it's important, because, like, what he would like to do... Imagine these two pawns weren't here. After this move, king goes here. That's the way to stop the promotion. Because if push, then takes. And if a king move, then you step up, I think. But he can't come here. Because I have this pawn. So let's see how much of that analysis makes any sense. Yeah, of course we do this. It doesn't really matter what the king does, so here we have this. No. What? It just hasn't finished analyzing, or... Yeah. So the king has to step back. And when he does, we step here, right? Yeah. And he has to step back again. And this is the moment. Ah, so he shouldn't step back. He should step here. I'm confused. So I step up. Why doesn't he just go here? I guess now he does have to step away. Okay. And we get the king in front. And we eventually promote this. Ah, I could even pick this up if I wanted to simplify. Okay. All right, let's look at the body count down here. 5 blunders, but in fairness, 3 of them were the same blunder, so that's something. Really? It doesn't like knight here? I thought that was pretty cool. I guess hanging on to this pawn is too important, and I should just be putting a rook here? Or maybe even queen here? No, because this, right? Doesn't like that. And I doubt it'll like this. Yeah. I guess there's some wacky stuff like queen here, attacking the pawn and defending everything. It seems like she's vulnerable here, but I guess she's not really. Yeah. Who's gonna attack her? A dark square bishop? LOL. Um, a rook? No. This knight would have to do it, and it's a big imposition for him. Like, how does he even get there? He can't. He has to get to this square. And he can't do that either. Here, here, here is the reorganization needed. But in that time, I'll have been able to put a pawn stopping it. So the queen is totally safe here. It feels weak because there's all these like places that she can see, but none of them can see her. And yeah, it's saying like take the pawn, but we can get this one and it's fine. Okay, that's a cool move that I missed. Wait, really? That was my only... My knight move... I'm confused. Why didn't it show me that mistake? That was a huge blunder that just didn't appear at all. Oh, I left... No, I don't understand. Learn from your mistakes. This one. We saw that. Skip this move. What? Right here. I played knight here. And it's like bad, but fine. It's not awful. It says play queen here. And we've just addressed this blunder. Next move takes me here. It's skipping this one. I don't understand. I mean, I know what I should have done, but... Okay, it says don't go king here. So is it this? Why? I thought that, like... Takes... Well, no, takes is pretty good, I guess. But I thought, like, king here. I guess the point is... I can get a rook over in time. I don't know. Oh, I see. I was looking... At this point, I thought this push was not good, although it turns out it's fine. But at this point, I really have to do it, apparently. Huh. And it says don't take here. Capture this pawn? No. Here. Why? Here. I was worried about this pawn, but I guess I am close enough to stop it. And I can get here in time to stop this pawn as well. Okay. Yeah. I thought that if I did this, I wouldn't be in time to stop what's going on over here. But actually, I have to grab this. And then I am in time, right? The pawn steps forward. And so the kind of rule of thumb for, like, is your king fast enough to stop the pawn? The rule of, like, for visualizing it a little more easily is after the pawn moves, you can draw a little box, a square, between it and the promotion square moving towards the king. If the king can move into that square, he can catch the pawn. You can't go here, but you can go here and then promote, capture, right? So that would be fine. Okay. And I guess... Really? King over here is wrong? I mean, I guess it must be this, but... Is here a threat? Like, what is the threat exactly? I can just capture that, right? Oh no, that's game over. Right, it lets the king in. That's what I was worried about, letting the king in. Oh, lock things down? Maybe? But then takes, right? That loses, yeah. Right. Oops. Resume. So I really need to hang on to this. Is it like you have to play king here instead for some weird reason? I don't think so. Those are pretty much the same, I think. Huh. I mean, we've looked at almost all the moves. There's this. But I think that's pretty bad. Maybe it is this, but I don't see... No, right? So is it really here? What's the big difference? If this... Like, do we end up zugzwanged somehow at some point because of this? It's saying go back here. Huh? No, it says keep moving. So I guess, okay, their king is trying to get in behind me. And at some point, I'm going to have to make a move that lets him in. But I don't see how that's different if I make the other king move. I go here. Like, why doesn't he chase me now? Now I can take here without letting the king in. I guess. And so, but why is this bad? I don't want to move any of my pawns, so I have to move my king. I think it is some weird zugzwang thing. I don't know. It says specifically here. Not here. Because I want to be guarding this pawn. So, is it some... It seems to be some zugzwang thing, somehow. Like, if here... I don't know. I don't understand this. So yeah, here I was supposed to step up. I just, like, didn't even see that as a possibility. If I'd seen it, I would have been like, oh yeah, cool, take up opposition against the king. But I was so focused on, like, trying to stop them being able to make this push that I forgot there are other ways to do it. Okay, well, a draw that could have been a win, but also, just briefly, it was a loss. And I'm happy with some of the stuff I found this game. Mostly winning the pawn. And I think some okay positional stuff in the middle. You know, definitely some missed opportunities. But we'll get there. With practice. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.